Okay, here we go again. The year is winding down. The month is winding down. Uh, Thanksgiving is coming up this Thursday. So let's get right to it, shall we? You are listening to KPCA LP, Petaluma, California, at 103.3 FM and worldwide at www.kpca.fm. And this is the Midnight Skeptic. The views of the Midnight Skeptic are not, repeat, not necessarily the views of KPCA or any of its affiliates. Okay, this is the Midnight Skeptic show number 96. I'm closing in on show number 100, which should be airing before the end of the year. Boy, what a year this has been. Oh, boy. Today, as I'm recording this right now for both radio and on YouTube, this is the 22nd, Tuesday. It's about 3 o'clock right now. And boy, what a week, what a week, what a week. As my intro said, the views of the Midnight Skeptic, meaning me, are not necessarily the views of Petaluma Community Access or the radio station KPCA LP 103.3 FM or any of its television affiliates. Petaluma Community Access has to televise live planning commission meetings, city council meetings, not just for Petaluma, but for all of the other small towns around here. And, we get paid to do that, and they're mandated by law to have to do that. So, okay, and like I say, my views are not necessarily their views. However, I'm pretty sure that they are. And my views are more or less the views of the vast majority of my listeners. I haven't received any death threats yet. I hope to receive one or two. It's been a while since I've been doing this. This is show number 96, and I do one a week, essentially. For a while, I was doing it every other week, but that just didn't seem to cut it in my mind. So if you have any suggestions or death threats or hate mail, send them to the Midnight Skeptic at gmail.com, and I'll get it. And the Midnight Skeptic is all one word, all lowercase. Please send me something and send me a suggestion of what you'd like to hear me rant about. I'm getting pretty good at ranting, okay? And as all of my viewers and listeners know, I am very, very progressive. I am quite liberal and absolutely woke. I'm proud to be woke, and I'm doing my best to make the term woke a good thing to be, as opposed to those sniveling MAGA heads that try to disparage people by calling them woke. Okay, enough of that. Shout outs. Okay, I'm going to try to get through this quickly. Anchor.fm and Spotify puts me out over the whole world, and I Googled the Midnight Skeptic just to see what's out there, and I'm on a whole lot of podcast people, in addition to Spotify, TuneIn, Castro. I've never listened to them at all, so I don't know what's on there besides me. And let's see, Spotify, and then Podbay. They're an agglomerating outfit of all sorts of podcasts, and well, I'm there too. Okay. Locally, Tom Gaffey, manager of the Phoenix Theater, Tom and Nancy throw Nariman. Believe me, we're going to have to sip some wine together before the holidays are all over with. But you're traveling around now, I understand, and enjoy your pictures that you put on Facebook. Okay, Tim Conrad, ex-Sonora High alumni, photographer extraordinaire, who lives down in Petaluma here now. Dave and Rosita Takach up in Sacramento. I hope you both are feeling well. Rich and Kathy Berger over in Sebastopol. Dennis and Megan down in Tiburon. Stan and Kathy down in Pacifica. And the uber lefty Susan Miller down in Pacifica. I'm going to have to meet her one of these days. Stan, if you're listening, invite me down there and just to meet her, I guess. Okay. In San Francisco, Yvonne Santos, and in Arizona, my brother Bran and his wife Mina, and their daughter Andrea is a nurse down there, and her husband Tim, and their 3 little terrorists. And okay, and in Arizona, Karina Hilliard, the snake removal technician down there, animal control. And in Arkansas, Shannon Reed. In Florida, Amelia Beamer and Nelson and Alice Lydell. Nelson was also a Sonora grad, probably the smartest guy in our class. He went on to a career with the United States Public Health Service. And in North Carolina, Dr. Dave Rubin, my favorite lung doctor of all time. Out on Long Island, Geraldine Goldfinger. And then up to Sonora, Robert and Colleen Finnegan, Bob and Sandy Fisher, and their daughter Martha, who is a nurse up there. Take care of yourself. Wear your PPE. And then her brother Brad, their son Brad. And then Darrell Larson, Judy May, Lynn Quayle, Leonidas Maciel, Kathy Francis, John Gleason and his 2 daughters, Tiffany and Jennifer. And then down in L.A., Jackie and Wayne Kolar and their 2 daughters who occasionally listen in, Melanie and Samantha. Okay, Mickey Huff, he lives up in the Sacramento area somewhere, but he commutes down to Diablo Valley College, where he's a professor of communications and history, I believe. Okay, but anyway, he's the godfather of Project Censored. And that's a phone ringing in the background. I'm not going to answer it. They'll leave a message if it's important. Okay. And let's see, Jackie and Wayne, okay, Mickey Huff, and go to projectcensored.org if you want to pre-order your State of the Free Press 2022. Okay, all right. Let's get on with this rant fest. Okay, I'm always going to start off my shows with good news. I've promised some of my critics that I would do that, and then end the show with good news, and then find during the body of the broadcast more good news, as much as I can find in these tortured days. Okay, I need a sip. This is grape juice. Okay, good news. As part of the sprawling 1.6 billion election defamation lawsuit against Fox News, lawyers representing Dominion Voting Systems are asking producers for Tucker Carlson and former Fox News host Lou Dobbs, what a jerk, to sit for depositions. Dominion says the network spread election fraud claims to beef up their viewership. Fox News? False information? Oh my God. Oh. Okay, new topic, Arizona election updates. For Attorney General, Democrat Chris Mays holds a slim 94 vote lead over MAGA head GOP Abe Hamadeh, capital Hamadeh. I believe that's an Iranian name. And for Superintendent of Public Instruction, Kathy Hoffman, a Democrat, and MAGA GOP Tom Horne, capital Horne, are headed to an automatic recount. I'm pretty sure that the Attorney General race is going to head for a recount also. Boy, Attorney General candidate Chris Mays must win this race. Otherwise, elections in Arizona are going to be suspect for as long as Abe Hamadeh is the Attorney General. Oh, boy. In the election coming up in 2024, we must vote out all Republicans, even the handfuls of good Republicans that there are. Just let that party start over and have the Lincoln Project be the core of this new and improved Republican Party. Okay, bad news. When the MAGA Head GOP conservatives take control of the House of Representatives in January of 2023, their agenda, and in my notes I put that in quotes, their agenda will just be about payback and revenge. Every Democrat will be investigated and or impeached. They're going to go after the Attorney General. They're going to go after Dr. Fauci. They're going to go after members of the January 6th investigating committee. They're just going to go after all of these people, all of these politicians who they don't agree with. The Republican Party is going to be controlled not by McCarthy so much as Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's already extracted a promise from that spineless creep, McCarthy, to investigate the Justice Department for having the temerity to charge these January 6 insurrectionists with crimes. They should all be freed. They're patriots, says Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, good news from New Mexico. For the first time since 1869, a public official has been ordered removed from office under the 14th Amendment for participating in the January 6th insurrection. And who was that, you might ask? Well, the leader of Cowboys for Trump, founder Couy Griffins. I mentioned him about 6 shows ago. Capital Couy is his first name. Griffins, capital Griffins. Okay. And he has been barred for life from public office, and it's been upheld by the New Mexico Supreme Court. And his public office was commissioner of the Otero County. Anyway, I doubt that it's going to really affect him all that much. He doesn't strike me as a public servant type. Okay, more good news. An Ohio pastor, William Dunphy, capital D-U-N-F-E-E, he's 57 years old. He's been arrested by the FBI and charged with felonies due to his participation in the January 6th insurrection. He was filmed by other insurrectionists and was wearing his company's jacket with its logo on it. Well, all right, that's convenient. That saves the FBI investigators a lot of work. He was recorded saying, and excuse me, this is a direct quote, "We will stand up for our country. We are standing up for our freedoms. We are standing up for our president." And by our president, he meant, of course, the orange sociopathic bloat bag. And today is the day these elected officials, meaning senators and congresspeople, these senators and these congressmen understand that we are not going to allow this to continue any longer. Said like a true man of God. Okay, he is a pastor with the New Beginnings Ministries, a non-denominational church that spouts truth. This is a quote. This is what the church says. Quote, "Truth-filled teachings directly from the Bible." And it's located in Frazenburg, Ohio, capital Frazenburg. And this pastor, William Dunphy, he's just another MAGA head. Okay, a cautionary warning from the Midnight Skeptic. You have been warned. Online or Zoom or virtual mental health services are highly suspect. I suspect them. It's called teletherapy, generically teletherapy in some circles. Startup companies like Cerebral, Halcyon Health, Done, D-O-N-E, and others have a professional organization, the American Telemedicine Association. It sounds legit, and their public statements about bringing mental health services to underserved communities at a cheaper cost, well, they sound very good. That would be a nice thing if it worked. It does not. Okay, beware. Okay. But the industry, like most startup tech companies, prioritize growth above all else. Heba Arroyo, okay, this is a lady, capital Hebah, and then a last name Arroyo. She's a nurse practitioner, and she was working for San Francisco's Done, capital D-O-N-E, that's the name of the company, a teletherapy company. She said clinicians were scheduled to see, and I put that in quotes in my notes, scheduled to see 4 patients an hour. That's not therapy, that's mass-produced blathering. Okay, no time for real interacting with patients or providing holistic treatment. This is what she says. Okay, Dunn's business model was based on growing the company. That's her opinion of the company called Dunn. Dunn's business model was based on growing the company. Most of these mental health tech startups sprung up during the COVID pandemic, and there was sort of a need for them during those lockdown times during the COVID pandemic. But the business model for these telemental health companies, okay, they're bad. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Mental health treatment has been historically inaccessible, for the most part, to the poor and the people of color. But pharmaceutical companies like CVS and Walmart have stopped filling prescriptions from Dunn and Cerebral. The telemental health bubble has burst. If you are in need, if you determine that you are in need of mental health services, search out places where you can get one-on-one talking treatment or psychiatric treatment. Don't go online for it, please. And if there's anybody that works for Dunn or Cerebral out there, and you want to sue me for saying this, be my guest. All right. Whew. Another sip. You want to know why I close all my shows with, above all, pet your cats? That's a good source of mental health. Pet your cat, sip a little bit of wine, don't overdo that, and you'll be fine. Have a good friend to talk with, or a spouse to talk with. That's mental health. Okay, all right. I'm riffing. Okay, more on CRT. I'll start this segment off by quoting Senator James O. Eastland. This is historical. He's not around anymore, thank goodness. James O. Eastland of Mississippi, who in the 40s said of black soldiers in World War II who served in segregated service-only units, not combat units. Okay, this is a quote from this creepy Southerner. I'm proud that the purest form of white blood flows in my veins. I know that the white race is the superior race. It has ruled the world. It has given us civilization. It is responsible for all the progress on earth. Now, he said this on the floor of the Senate. Is there any reason that kids in high school or middle school should be denied this wisdom of what this creep said, and realize that we had a very bad era in our country, in some areas of our country, and some people in our country, like James O. Eastland, said things like this. Is it going to make our kids feel white guilt or shame? No, not if it's presented in the correct way. Okay. Oh, I lost my notes. He went on. Black soldiers were dismal failures in combat and have disgraced the flag of their country. What? Well, in addition to being just wrong, Uh, he's a creep like other segregationists for saying this out loud on the floor of the Senate. Okay, shouldn't school kids learn that there was this attitude in many places in our country 70 or so years ago, and some of it is around in the dark corners of our country, being MAGA heads and Republicans. I'm not saying that all Republicans are racists, but the majority of them are. And I don't enjoy saying that, but that's the conclusion, and which is the right conclusion that I've drawn over the last 10 years or so. Okay, I'm off my notes again and I'm riffing. And that we've almost overcome it. School kids won't feel discomfort or white guilt. They should be taught to feel pride that they are helping to change America for the better. Okay, if this younger generation, upon turning 18, register to vote and vote out all Republicans, then we can truly make this country into a better place. If teachers are unable to talk honestly about this history, students and citizens will have an impoverished idea of what it meant for black soldiers to fight for America during World War II. MAGA GOP anti-CRT education laws permits the lowest common denominator of MAGA parents to control our educational system. In other words, MAGA Head parents is what I'm talking about. The way that these laws are written, like in Florida, where Bloatbag Jr. is the governor, the way these laws are written, any parent can lodge a protest if their kid comes home from school and says, "Mommy, I'm ashamed of being a white kid." It doesn't happen. It's just the MAGA head Republican politicians that throw out this scenario to their base, their MAGA head base. Okay, I'm off my notes again, and I'm ranting and raving and let's see, where am I? MAGA GOP and anti-CRT education laws permits the lowest common denominator of parents to control our educational system. In other words, MAGA head parents. Here's a horrible statistic. More than 6 in 10 Americans think parents should be able to opt children out of school lessons that include content they find disagreeable. Okay, well, of course, in Christian circles, that means lessons that talk about evolution, which they will find disagreeable. In MAGA head circles, it means honest history and literature, such as The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. Moms for Liberty are in favor of banning all these books that they say would make their kids feel discomfort or white guilt. I doubt, I'd be willing to bet $10 that there's no member of Moms for liberty that have been teachers or have a teacher type education. Okay. Whew. Deep breath. Okay, and a sip of my grape juice. Okay, congratulations to Maxwell Frost, who is 25 years old, and he's the first Generation Z elected to Congress from Florida's 10th district. Okay. Florida has gerrymandered their congressional districts to such a degree that practically every district is now leaning Republican. I think they crammed all of the sensible voters into the 10th district through gerrymandering. Okay, good news. Real good news, Simone Gold. Now, who is that lady, you might be asking? She is the founder of America's Frontline Doctors. It's a group of quacks, and I've called them that online a number of times. And she puts MD and JD after her name. She did, in fact, go to law school, and she did, in fact, go to medical school. But she, Simone Gold, is being sued by America's Frontline Doctors, the quackery medical group that she founded. It's alleged that she improperly used funds from the AFLD, America's Frontline Doctors. Damn, there's another phone call. I don't recognize the number. Anyway, AFLD is America's Frontline Doctors. And she improperly used funds to purchase a $3.6 million home in Naples, Florida, and at least 3 high-end cars, and to fund her very lavish lifestyle. Okay, I'm being left a message. Okay, more good news. Okay, good news. The ad tech watchdog group, Check My Ads, announced this week that it had successfully petitioned at least 8 major companies to remove their ads from appearing alongside the podcast Steve Bannon's War Room. Check My Ads co-founder Nandini Jammi, and I'll spell that for you, capital Nandini, that's her first name, capital Jammi. She was originally from India, been over here a long time, and she went to college over here and became a advertising person, and then she's into politics now. Okay, Check My Ads co-founder Nandini Jammi said that the ads on Steve Bannon's War Room had been present during Bannon's show on Roku streaming service. She said, in the quote, "In the last 2 weeks, I notified Volvo, Planet Fitness, Disney Plus, Verizon, Hilton," okay, can't read my handwriting, Etsy, Audi, and Royal Bank of Canada that their ads were running on Steve Bannon's War Room. As of today, they're all gone. And I got this about a week ago. Uh, 5 years ago, let's see. Okay, if you want to follow her, Nandoodles. Okay, at Nandoodles, if you want to follow her. 5 years ago, Nandini Jammy co-founded the campaign to make Breitbart unprofitable, and it was founded on June of 2020, along with Claire Atkin. They meaning Breitbart, lost 90% of their ad revenues in 3 months. Today, she's launching a campaign to take on, are you ready for this? Fox News. And she knows exactly how to get the job done. You go through their advertisers. Okay, shadowy online ad exchanges are the weak link in Check My Ads efforts. 90% of online ads are generated through an automated process as opposed to being directly placed by a company. A company may be unaware of where your ad messages are showing up. Well, Check My Ads will let people know what companies are advertising on what programs. Okay, in October of 2021, a public benefit corporation, Good Information Incorporated, was formed as a 501c3 nonprofit to tackle growing information crisis in America that is undermining social trust, harming public health, and damaging our democracy. The mission of Good Information Incorporated is to increase the flow of good, factual information online to counter and rebut the spread of mis- and disinformation. Okay. In other words, they're aiming at Fox News mainly. That's my editorializing. Fox News and Newsmax. Okay, Project Good Information, or PGI, was created by Tara McGowan. She's a Democratic Party strategist. She's been criticized for her willingness to fight fire with fire. This is a quote from a critic of hers: the Democrats' most dangerous digital strategists. Okay, she's gotten a lot of criticism from both siders, really. That's who's criticizing her, because she doesn't play fair. Well, if you're fighting people like Fox News or Newsmax, don't play fair. We want them gone. Okay. I'm going to take a deep breath and a sip. Okay, new topic. Okay, unfortunately, it's about the mass shooting again, this time in Colorado Springs at Club Q. The mass shooter, Anderson Aldrich, is the grandson of a politician out here in California, a MAGA Head California Assemblyman Randy Voepel, capital Voepel. He aligned himself with the Tea Party way back when he was getting involved in politics. Involved himself with the Tea Party movement, saying that the Republican Party was too liberal. I don't think there is any real connection between Randy Vopel and his mass shooting grandson, Anderson Aldrich. So it's just, well, maybe it's not a coincidence. Okay. A Salon article entitled "The Backlash to Christianity. Republicans Only Have Themselves to Blame." July 20th, this article was back in July 29th of 2022, and it was written by Amanda Marcotte, capital Marcotte. Check out her newsletter, which is called Standing Room Only. Religion, especially Christianity, while still powerful in American culture, is in decline. Yay! I gotta hit a 3 for this. Okay, religion, especially Christianity, while still powerful in American culture, is in decline. Fewer than half of Americans even belong to a church. This is, according to the Gallup poll. In 2020, 47% of Americans said they belonged to a church, synagogue, or mosque. The decline is heaviest among the younger generation. Go Generation Z. Stay out of the pews and don't listen to evangelical pastors, those hate mongers. Okay, I'm off my notes again. Church, synagogue, or mosque. The decline is heaviest among the younger generations. And then this is a quote from who? I didn't write it down. Anyway, among those born in the early 1930s, 60% attend church weekly. Okay, 17% never attend. Among those born in the early 50s, yay, that's me. That's me. Actually, a little bit before that, but who's counting? 32% attend weekly and 29% never attend. Among those born in the early 1990s, Generation Z, 18% attend weekly and 42% never attend. Yay, Generation Z. In response to Americans losing interest in faith, Republicans are in a full-blown panic, lashing out and accusing everyone else, liberals, schools, immigrants, pop culture, you name it, for this shift, downward shift, in religious sentiment. Worse, more MAGA heads are advocating the use of force to counter this decline, and not physical force, although I wouldn't put anything by them. Okay, if people don't want religion, well, too bad. More and more Republicans are arguing that Christianity should not be optional. First Amendment be damned. SCOTUS, our Supreme Court, Samuel Alito, recently whined, there's also growing hostility to religion. This was in response to criticism of recent court decisions meant to foist fundamentalist beliefs onto non-believers. Roe v. Wade comes to mind, the overturning of it. The Washington football coach decision, where he went out into the middle of the field after the game and had a prayer circle, and also the decision about the state of Maine now having to fund religious schools. All of those things is indicative of our Supreme Court becoming a fount of fundamentalist Christianity. Okay, as Jack Jenkins of Religion News Service said, quote, increasing numbers of Republicans are ignoring the plain text of the First Amendment, here, which says the government shall, quote, make no law respecting an establishment of religion. The GOP favors the tortured myth that there's no separation of church and state. Justice Neil Gorsuch has dismissed that separation is mandated by the Constitution. Christian nationalism and the GOP, this is my opinion statement, Christian nationalism and the GOP are nearly inseparable now. Okay. Really good news. The MAGA rioter, and I'll tell you who he is. Okay, my notes are kind of jumbled here. The MAGA rioter was sentenced to 7 years in prison. This is the guy who screamed, "I got one," as he dragged Officer Fanone down the Capitol steps. Federal Judge Amy Berman Jackson described Cosper Head, that's the guy's name, capital COSPER, capital HEAD, this insurrectionist creep. Federal Judge Amy Berman Jackson described Cosper Head as, quote, one of the most serious offenders. He, Officer Fanone, was your prey. He was your trophy. Wonder why I'm getting so many calls. I guess telemarketers didn't get my memo that I was recording my show this afternoon. Okay. To counter the myth that Christianity is a religion of love and kindness and acceptance, I'm going to just quote this hymn, HYMN, Onward Christian Soldiers. Okay. Onward Christian soldiers marching as to war with the cross of Jesus going on before. We're going to kill all the non-Christians out there. This fight song undoubtedly puts anti-LGBTQ Jesus screamers in the mood to shoot up gay bars and disrupt drag story hour in our libraries. Got to save our children from non-Christians. Okay. As you can probably tell out there, I am anti-Christian, and I plead guilty to that, but it's not just Christians. I've said, in fact, I think I said it on the last show, this world would be much better off, a kinder place, a more accepting place, if all religions would just disappear forever. The reason I pick on Christianity more than others is because, well, they're here in this country, disrupting our happiness in this country and spoon-feeding MAGA Head Republicans with false claims that liberal teachers are grooming our kids. They're teaching them CRT. And letting them choose what gender they want to be. Okay. Whew. You know, ranting really dries my throat. Here's another sip of grape juice. Good news. Tehachapi's, and that's a town down in the LA area somewhere. Tehachapi's Golden Hills Elementary School is getting the, quote, after-school Satan Club, unquote, sponsored by the Satanic Temple and Reason Alliance. This is not the Church of Satan. It's the Satanic Temple and Reason Alliance. It was created within the last 10 years, and I'm not sure whether they're referring to the elementary schools branch of this club in the last 10 years, or the Satanic Temple and Reason Alliance was created within the last 10 years. The article where I read this, it was not clear on that point. I think they mean the Satanic Temple and Reason Alliance was created within the last 10 years. But anyway, the Golden Hills Elementary School has a branch, and they don't proselytize. They don't try to make these kids believe in Satan, Uber alles. Okay. Their emphasis is educational and emphasizes critical thinking. Yay! Our kids need more critical thinking. Okay, I'm off my notes. Okay, this is a quote from Lucian Graves, capital Greaves, one of the founders, I think founders of the Satanic Temple and Reason Alliance. Okay, this is a quote. "We keep religious matters out of the club." This is what he said. Many parents and guardians of students there, of course, are upset. Paul Hicks will be the new leader of this group and is a professor of critical thinking. Quote, this is his quote, "There's currently a good news club, Christian, there, which is teaching kids to save souls for Jesus. Okay, we want to give an alternative point of view." Okay, and in any event, the parents need to give a written approval to their kids to go to this after-school Satan club. Well, they should be allowed to have a club like this if they have a club like the Good News Club. Okay. All right. Another little bit about the Club Q shooting. In my opinion, the news media should, after every new mass shooting, and the next one is going to come along any day now, after every new mass shooting, they should run the clip of the NRA's Wayne LaPierre saying, "The only thing that will stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun." Run it every time, this clip of Wayne LaPierre. Maybe gun nuts and NRA and the GOA, which is Gun Owners of America, will be made to feel something, if even a little bit of embarrassment or shame or guilt. Okay, that's my suggestion to media outlets, NBC, ABC, CBS, NPR. They're not going to do that, but that's my suggestion. And you don't even have to editorialize about Wayne LaPierre's saying. Just run it as is and let people draw their own conclusions. Okay. The show's almost over, and I promised to end the shows with good news. Well, here it is. Okay. Good historical news. From 1994 to 2004, when assault weapons were banned, mass shootings decreased by 70%. It's a fact. Okay, the NRA used to be, and I'm not sure when they changed over to their crummy existence now, but the NRA used to be a hunters organization concerned with, are you ready for this? Gun safety. Hard to believe now, but it's true. Okay. That is essentially it. At the Aquas Cafe on Saturday, the 3rd of December, first Saturday of the month, Veterans Walk and Talk will meet at Aquas Cafe, 2nd and, 2nd Street. Anyway, I'll give you the actual address on the next show, which will be coming at you next week. Okay, that's about it. My play-out music. You have been listening to The Midnight Skeptic on KPCA LP, Petaluma, California. And we're at 103.3 on the FM dial and worldwide at www.kpca.fm. Support community radio at patreon.com/Petaluma Community Access. And remember, think critically, think logically, but live joyously, and most importantly, pet your cats. Okay, if you have a few bucks lying around, go to Patreon, donate it to Petaluma Community Access. It won't go to me. It'll just go to the operation of the station. And above all, pet your cats for mental health. Okay, I'll be talking at you next week. I'll probably record this on the 29th or 30th, and it'll be broadcast on the 4th of December. So until then,